Welcome back to the People Chronicles. And I'm Annarose, still. And next to me is still Lisa Martello McGowan.
We are still here.
We are still here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick up where we left off at the first half of the program. And Lisa was telling us about living with colon cancer and what it means. And she started off by telling us what it doesn't do. And I'm just going to reiterate that. I'm taking her notes now. She said, it cannot cripple love, it cannot shatter hope, it cannot corrode faith, it cannot destroy peace or kill friendship or silence courage or conquer the spirit. Mm-hmm. Now tell me then, and those are beautiful words, and you wrote them because you are an English teacher, and you came well prepared with your notes, and I know that as you are my editor. Yes. So you're telling us what it isn't and what it can't do. Tell me what it does do for you. What does cancer do for you? Who is this new Lisa?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't take my life for granted.
So you're this grateful. If we look at it in positive words, when you say I don't take my life for granted,
make me cry.
Is that you then appreciate everything about your life. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that I am your Facebook buddy.
Yes.
Is a Facebook friend. I mean,
right,
I've got to get the lingo. I have to get my lingo right. So I am your Facebook friend. So I watch you. I watch you. And I know how you take.
People are watching.
Yes, the whole world is watching.
The world is watching.
About how you don't take life for granted. Some of the things that you do that I wouldn't even do is, what did you do just recently?
Well, we just entered the Warrior Dash. It's a mud race, and we were up in the Poconos, and it's 3.2 miles, and in addition to running, you have to do obstacles. So there were about 12 obstacles, and you're going under barbed wire, you're climbing over cargo nets, you have to climb mounds of mud and then fall into just tons of water with mud and climb out of it. And it was a blast. It was so much fun.
But it almost is somewhat symbolic about this fight that you have on, this competition between you and cancer that you have, that it is an uphill, it is dirty, it is messy, yep. There are obstacles to go through, and yet you do it. And that's one of the reasons why I call you my warrior woman, because you are beating this. I mean, you are fighting this. Tell me a little bit about the children. I lost my dad to cancer when I was 4 years old. Your children are a little bit older, correct?
They are 12 and 10.
Okay, so they're pretty much in tune with what's going on. They can have conversations and less than I did at the time. And also 60 years ago, nobody really wanted to hear my opinion anyway. Right. So now we want to hear the children speak. Tell me what you do. How do you keep that going? How do you keep that so positive?
Well, I always told them what was going on, so they've always known. And my daughter she's so much like me. She said, well, Mom, you'll just go to the doctor and they'll give you medicine and you'll be fine.
There you go.
So I just remember that. I'm going to go to the doctor, he's going to give me medicine, and I'm going to be fine. And they expect that from me, to be positive. And Grace, I said to her the other day, do you think I'm a pretty positive person? She says, Mom, there's no one more positive than you.
I would have to agree with Grace. I actually, today I commented that she was mini you, because she looks just like you too. So.
She does.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I get it from my parents, because when I first told my parents about my diagnosis, Mom looked at me, and at first she said, oh, no, not you. And then she said, well, nothing will change. You'll just go on being you. And so that's what I do. And I don't know where else it comes from, except I don't like negativity. I don't think it's productive. So I stay focused on the positive and what could happen. Because I like that outcome better than the negative part.
Yeah, me too. How about diet? I mean, have they told you, is there something to do with diet? I mean, to eat, not to eat?
There's tons of information on what to eat and what not to eat. During chemo, you have to focus on things that will help increase your red blood count. There's things that will help you when you're not feeling well, when you're nauseous, you can eat certain foods. So it's It's out there. It's everywhere. And if you follow it, there's books on what to eat.
Is there anything specific or anything that you could share with maybe someone who has colon cancer now that is listening, that you specifically?
Well, I would switch to organic, and you have to, anything high in iron.
Okay.
And ginger is a big anti-nausea fighter. So if they're nauseous, that's going to help. I used to put it in my tea. I used to put it just in hot water and heat it up. That helped tremendously.
Okay, great. All right, what else do we need to know about Lisa? About this new Lisa?
I don't know. I don't know. Just
where do you go from here?
Well, I'm going to continue to fight and continue to be hopeful. And
what's in that fight?
Well, the next step, my chemotherapy stopped working. So I have to go talk to a radiologist. And I meet with him on Tuesday because they're going to target, I have cancer in my liver because it spread from my colon to my liver and to my lungs. But the good news is the lungs are stable. They're not growing anymore. And the liver started to grow, but they're still pretty small. The good news is there's no new cells, so that's exciting. And hopefully the radiologist can go right in and target the liver. So that's our next step.
Okay, so will that be done locally?
No, that's at Johns Hopkins.
Okay, so even while all this is going on, then you're on the move. I mean, it's not like, okay, so you have to seek out this therapy. You have to seek out the treatment. As opposed to it, being readily available. I mean, at hand, I should say.
Yes, I think that if you or a family member are diagnosed, you have to be your strongest advocate. You have to go out and find the doctors and talk to people and always get a second or third opinion. I went all over. Of course, you Google everything and you research the top hospitals. Yeah. And we're fortunate. Pennsylvania has a lot of excellent hospitals for cancer. There's Fox Chase, the University of Pennsylvania comes highly recommended. I just chose to go to Hopkins, and I'm glad I did. It works for me. It is 2 hours one way, so it's not for everyone. But
you have a lot of support, And
I do.
Talk to me or tell us a little bit about that support system that you have.
Well, I have my parents are big advocates. My children are supportive. My husband is a truck driver, so the good news is he knows wherever to go. So I could, have chosen a hospital in California, and he would be like, I know exactly where that is. So that's really lucky for me. So I don't have to worry. I don't have that stress about how to get there and where to park, and he's really good. These hospitals are massive, and I'm not so great with directions and all that, but he's wonderful. I just am like the blind. I just let him take me to the doctor. So that's really fortunate. He's been a huge support. I think sometimes it's harder on the caregivers than it is for the patient. I really do. And the people that I work with are tremendous supporters. I am really lucky because I've been out for 3 surgeries, and my students are supportive. My boss, Jim Reese, who I call Barry. I call him Barry because he looks like Barry Gibb. But he's a huge advocate. He doesn't he? Yeah. So I'm really fortunate. I have a strong support group because you can't do this alone. You have to talk to other people, and you have to have people who have your back.
Yeah. It's funny because when you say you have to have people who have your back, but in essence, it was the friend.
Yes.
Who was Deb your friend prior to?
Yes.
Or just a colleague then?
No, we were friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you were friends and colleagues. So it was she who pointed you in the right direction.
Yes. I've called her my lifesaver several times. She is.
She is your lifesaver.
Yeah.
And I know how supportive she's been throughout this whole episode in your life.
Yeah.
You really are a warrior princess. Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. When Lisa started this, she was telling us everything that cancer can do or can take from you, but that she hasn't let it take it from her. In fact, it's basically giving you, I think, that drive, even that little bit more that drive than you always had. And so she's learned how to compete, which is very valuable since the female generation is not really well versed in how to compete.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true, exactly. So, but you do it so well, and I'm just honored that you would be here today. So,
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
As I say that, we're going to sign off from Storied Women. And Lisa, thank you again.